Today I'm going to be tying a pheasant tail soft hackle, which is just a general purpose all imitation fly. I'm tying this on a 14 scud hook with some lead and a bead head to get it down a little bit quicker, just a little bit of a heavier nymph. So we're going to start our thread, and I want to cover up that lead, so I'll just wrap back over and do a few extra wraps here. And we'll wrap down the bend of the hook. This is where we're going to start our tail. And for the tail, just a few fibers of about 3 or 4 fibers of pheasant tail. Make sure those tips are nice and lined up. Measure it out. And then tie it in. We have our tail there, about a half the length of the shank of the hook. And then we're going to lay that back. We're going to use the rest of that as the body here. But what we want to do before we wrap on the body is tie in our rib. We'll wrap that down to where we want to start our body. So what we want to do is we want to get a slight overlap of where we're tying in the body to where the tail was. So tying back over these fibers that we had laid back. Now that we have that done, we'll just wind up about to where we want the body to end. And we can start wrapping these fibers up the hook. We'll tie off our body. Cut the excess, and then we're going to get ready to counter wrap. We're going to counter wrap our rib. So basically you're just winding this on in the opposite direction that you wound on the body. Give that a few tight wraps here. After you have that in, you can cut it off. And next I'm going to be using some UV peacock for the thorax. So we're going to wrap that in here. And I picked out 2 strands that were had some good fibers in them, just to give that thorax a little bit of a fuller look, like what we have going on right here. I'll tie off the peacock. Now we can cut it off. Give a quick whip finish before we tie in our hackle. For this hackle, I'm just going to be using some partridge. You want to strip off the marabou off the end of the hook, and then I found that this always makes it a little bit easier. Sometimes partridge isn't the most easy thing to work with, so I just stroke those fibers apart. I feel that whenever I'm wrapping it on, it just helps that they're separated beforehand. And whenever I tie this in, I want to tie it to where it's going to be facing downward. That cup is facing down. And I'm tying it in backwards. The reason that is, I just want some slightly shorter fibers that are going to be a little closer to the tip there. So that's my reasoning behind the direction that I'm tying it in. So now we're going to wrap this around, and I'm going to be pulling those fibers back as I wrap. And I'm only going to do one wrap. Like I said, I want that to be a little sparse. Give it a little bit more of a buggy look. And then we'll cut off the rest of our feather there. Pull those fibers back. Just give another couple tight wraps. And to finish off this fly, we're going to do a quick whip finish. And that's all there is to tying a pheasant tail soft hackle. There we have it. Another great all-purpose imitation fly.